what? It's there. Oh, okay. It looks different on the screen. Yeah. When you talk about Charles Davis Sherborn, he must have had a very good access to a very good and very complete library, as we heard about before, and he obviously appreciated this access when he says that in any well-appointed natural history library there should be found every book and every edition of every book dealing in the remotest way with the subjects concerned. And moreover, for accurate work it is necessary for the students to verify every reference he may find. It is not enough to copy from a previous author, he must verify its reference itself from the original. So in the times of Sherborn, it's mostly what we see here, the books on the bookshelf, but today, as we've heard a couple of times today already, and talking about digital libraries, we have to talk about the Biodiversity Heritage Library that was obviously not available to Sherborn in his days. And when it started to went online, it was a product of 10 initial libraries in the United States and in the UK, who are then responsible for what we also see today. This is the portal we probably all know of, and among some of the accomplishments of the BHL are that we have now access to almost 95,000 books and more than 35 million pages of literature. We have OCR and page level access. Taxon Finder is used to facilitate the search for names. A few developer tools are available. Data can be exported. An API is available. BHL is working on permissions to also scan in copyright content. There's the link between EOL species pages and BHL. Sitebank is available to deal with bibliographies and articles. The Darwin Library was launched recently, and also one very important thing is that BHL is growing global in the last few years. And looking at the map, what that means, starting from the original BHL project, we have now colleagues in Brazil, in the Library of Alexandria, in Australia, and in China, and also that was actually the first one in 2009, the BHL Europe project. And a couple of those global projects are already online with own portals, China, Australia. But I'm going to talk about a bit more about the BHL Europe project and what we have achieved today. This project is funded by the European Commission under the Econet Plus program, running since April 2009 with altogether 28 partners from all across Europe, but also including partners from the US to align with BHL. And it's running for 3 years, so we have about 6 months left in the project. And our vision is to make the European biodiversity knowledge freely available globally to everyone. When we do this by mobilizing and preserving the existing digital European biodiversity heritage literature and facilitate the open access to this through one, a multilingual community portal, second, the global reference index to biodiversity, and Europeana. And I'm going to talk about all these three things a bit more. Important to mention is that in contrast to BHL, the resources or repositories of the different institutions in London, Linz, Göttingen, Animal Base, to mention here, and a few others. And some of our partners not even have a repository that is online available. So they are scanning, but nobody can access this. And this is where now BHL Europe comes in. We collect all this content, all the page images that are scanned by the new partners onto our servers, which are actually not very far away from here in this building, and harmonize the data and make this available through our portal, through our access points, so the user only have to go to our portal. And we also collect the BHL US content and hopefully can mirror this between us, so we all make this available to all of us wherever you go to. So in a bit more schematic way, the physical collections, the libraries, the books that are hosted by our partner libraries come into either in a digitized way in our archive, but we are also collecting the library catalog to also make available those content that is not digitized yet and still available for digitization, to manage that. And in addition to the various global nodes that are hopefully accessing our archive in the near future, we have these 3 access points also to deal with the different user groups we have. GRIP, the Global Reference Index to Biodiversity, our portal, and Europeana. We're going through all of those in a bit more detail now. The GRIP is built as a bibliographic database, as a unique catalog of all our library catalogs of all our partners. And this, the goal was to have this available for the libraries as a tool to manage their digitization programs, to facilitate or to avoid deduplication when scanning. And although it is currently online available, we have a number of trouble, I have to say. Over the summer there was a big hardware crash at the place where we built the system. We built this in collaboration with the head office of the Common Library Network, GBV, in Göttingen. And this crash also hit quite a big number of other German libraries, and us as well. And we are currently rebuilding it, so it may happen that if you go to the GRIP website, every hour you may see improvements continuously coming up. The data, we are continuously collecting more data. We have almost 600,000 deduplicated records online, but we still need to clean them up to align this with the library holdings and to test the use and quality of the data. And what is also needs to be improved is our digitization widget. You learn more on the poster, what is outside on the GRIP, that has a bit more screenshots, a bit more details, but beware, it's currently not working properly, but hopefully in a few days. And this is a tool for scientists to place scan requests. It's also a tool for librarians to manage their digitization process. And another tool for librarians we make available at the end of the project is a so-called best practice guide to facilitate and support our librarians in moving forward with scanning. So we provide an analysis of the collection, what needs to be added in the future. We provide guidance on how to handle IPR issues, information on scanning costs, metadata requirements, metadata handling, information on digitization workflows, available tools for that, requirements for images, and also on data harmonization and our schema mapping tool. When talking about the schema mapping tool, I also have to mention our metadata schema, our format that we created within BHL Europe. It's called OLEF, Open Literature Exchange Format, and the need was identified that the existing schemas cannot hold every information that we would like to see, but we still use existing standards for bibliographic information, for image information, IPR information, and taxon information to collect this all into one schema. More details and the full schema is available online as well. And to work with it, we built a slim, easy-to-use, cross-platform standalone application that is available under this link to map existing schemas of our partners, metadata from our partners, into what we need. And and this also includes the ESE schema, the Europeana semantic elements, to make our data available to Europeana. And the process is going from the content providers. They provide the metadata. We define the way in which we map the metadata to OLAF, and during the interest process, the mapping process is triggered to actually produce the OLAF files. At the end, they go into our archive together with the page images. And at the end, our portal will look like this, okay? This still is a design draft, but we are approaching the day when this will also go live very soon. And our portal is based on Drupal 7. And the important thing I would like to mention here are those web servers we are using either to enrich the metadata in the ingest process or to expand the search via our portal to hopefully please the user at the end. And to mention some of those that are actually used for mainly for the name finding in a broader sense are for taxonomic names, including common and names and synonyms. We work with a taxon finder, also then with the catalog of life and PESI in the search term expansion. We using the VF web services to facilitate the search for synonyms of author names, and we are currently working on incorporating also synonyms and acronyms, abbreviations of serials through the use of the web service of the ZDB. And yes, this is how it looks like. We are building various Drupal modules for various purposes, a names module, a VF module, then there will be a serials module that is used to incorporate these web services. And this is how we imagine the presentation layer will look like, but in addition to what we present to the scientific community, maybe some other tools are required to approach the general public, the general interest reader, and for that purpose we build virtual exhibitions based on separate collections. This is the first one we have finished on spices, and there's another one coming on expeditions, and more details on this are available on the poster outside and the podcast I've just prepared in the lunch break. So that's why I skip here and come to Europeana, where we also plan to have a poster, but we didn't finish that in time. So a few more words about Europeana. If you're not aware of this, Europeana is, well, you can call it the digital archive, museum, and library for Europe that is currently have collected more than 20 million objects. When I say objects, I mean metadata, because Europeana is not hosting the original content, but link through from the Europeana site to the portals of the aggregators. In our case, when we find something that is provided by BHL Europe or BHL, we would be linked back to the BHL portal. And so it has everything from Mona Lisa to Charles Darwin, pretty much. Text, images, videos, audios, all kinds of various things that are considered to be cultural heritage. And from BHL Europe, currently a little more than 100,000 objects are included from 9 of our partners. And if you know how to look for our collections with the specific search strings, you can already access them, which will be improved over time. But through Europeana, at least, a few of our content is already accessible, and a few examples are also outside on one of the 3 posters I've prepared. Thank you very much. the idea is to have to mirror all content across the globe. So through all of the portals, you would find the same, which is not solved yet, but hopefully, yeah.
Is there any thought to capture from non-partner digital archives such as the one in Madrid? I noticed that Madrid was not partner, and I often get to the Madrid Digital Archive when I'm searching for digital content.
Yes, we are. Although Madrid is partner in BHR Europe, we are not getting the content of the garden. You mean that one of the garden? Yeah. Although we are working also with non-consortium partners and include their content as well. We already have something like 5 or so non-consortium partners, and they provide us their content as well. The case of the Madrid garden is a bit more special. We had discussion before, but currently we're not successful in making that accessible.